Hey, good Thursday morning, everybody. This is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Quick update on the forecast as we go into the weekend. We've got the ACC Championship. We've got a significant warm-up and another wild swing in the pattern coming up next week. So let's get right to the details. It was a cold morning again. Temperatures way down into the teens and 20s this morning. And here we are at about 10:20 in the morning. Excuse me, when I'm recording this. And you can see temperatures are generally in the 20s and 30s this morning. It is a cold start to the morning here across the southeast. Even way down into Florida, they had 20s and 30s down into central Florida. But if you look back to the west, you'll see there is a pretty significant warm-up taking place here across the deep south and parts of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. This is going to be pushing our way for the weekend. So we're kind of over the hump of the coldest temperatures, and every day into the weekend, it's going to get a little bit warmer each day. Let me show you how this pattern is going to unfold here. So let's look at the temperatures as they're going to be changing over the next couple of days. This is today. You can see the warm-up taking place here in the middle of the country, cold here in the southeast. Watch as we go into the afternoon hours. We'll go to about 6 o'clock today. Still chilly today. We're going to struggle to get back maybe to 50, 51 degrees this afternoon. It'll be cold again tonight. We'll fall back into the 30s, but watch what happens as we go into tomorrow. After that cold start, we're going to see that warm up across the middle of the country. This is 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and you could see we've got some pretty warm temperatures here across the south. These are 60s and 70s. Now, we're still in the maybe upper 50s here in Charlotte, maybe some 40s back in northeast Georgia thanks to some low clouds. But we're starting to see that warmer air begin to move our direction. And as we get closer to Saturday and Sunday, watch the warm up kind of overtake the southeast. So we're going into Saturday afternoon. This is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll show you real quickly how warm it gets here. We could see temperatures in the 60s across most of the southeast, and look at these 70s showing up across a big chunk of the southeast. So really big potential for a warm up here. Then watch what happens as we go further out into Sunday. We'll go into Sunday morning and look at the warm up. This is we'll go to 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon real quickly here and kind of show you just how warm. You know, we're going to be pushing 70 degrees, maybe some low and mid 70s here. Pretty significant warm up here in the southeast, but notice back to the northwest, you can see there's a cold front heading our way. That's a lot of cold air beginning to push into the southeast. So watch what happens. That cold front gets closer and closer, starts to displace that warm air, but this is still, we're talking Monday, still pretty mild. The cold air really doesn't get here until probably next Wednesday. And you can see that cold air kind of taking over parts of the southeast. And I'll kind of show you what that means for rainfall, because that is such a slow-moving cold front that it's likely going to produce rain starting Saturday night into Sunday and into Monday. So pretty soggy for the second half of the weekend. So let me show you what this means for rainfall. Obviously today is going to be dry, though we are going to see increasing clouds. As we go through the afternoon, high clouds will move in first. You'll see those high wispy cirrus clouds moving in. That'll set the stage for some cloudier skies tonight. And you can see the rain back to our west. Could be a little bit of ice initially in the mountains before things warm up, but you can see the cold front kind of taking place to our west. Now this is tomorrow during the morning, maybe a passing shower, but I think for the most part, we're going to be mostly dry on Friday. The really big system starts to develop here. You can see the large storm system developing back towards the Midwest. Very complex system. You got a low here, cold front here, surface low here. This is a lot of warm, humid air. There actually could be some severe storms with that southern part of the system down here in parts of Mississippi, Arkansas. You could see kind of the setup there. That looks to be kind of an interesting setup. And then we've got a good old-fashioned winter storm up here to the northwest, but it's not super cold, so you're looking at a wintry mix for parts of the country there. But watch what happens here in the southeast. We're going to go into Saturday morning. This is about 5 o'clock in the morning, and you can see the light rain trying to spread into the region. So 10 a.m. So we've got a lot going on Saturday. I'm actually in the Christmas parade up in Taylorsville. We've got the ACC championship game. You can see this is right around noontime, so it looks like some pretty good rain across a good chunk of the Carolinas. I mean, that's some of that could be heavy. We'll go into the afternoon and evening. You can see the rain really picks up. This is 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Still raining 6, 7, 8 o'clock. So it looks like things will try to improve as we go through Saturday evening. This is 7 o'clock. So maybe if this thing speeds up, it'll push out quickly and we'll start to see some drier air come in. The problem is if it slows down at all, and even with this scenario, you're looking at a close call. So right now, I think we're going to see some significant rain around here Saturday into Saturday night and maybe even into Sunday. Because remember, this system up here to the northwest, this is the cold air returning. It doesn't really move through until the middle of next week. So we're going to be in an unsettled pattern here across the southeast, and that's reflected a lot in the long range pattern. Now, what I'm showing you here is the what we call 500 millibar heights. This kind of shows you the jet stream level. What you're looking for is basically where you've got the blues and purples. That's below average pressures at that altitude, or basically those are troughs in the atmosphere. When we see reds, those are ridges, so that's usually warm and dry weather. The stormy cold weather shows up in blue. So you can see we're kind of got one system moving away from us going into the weekend. I'll go into Saturday. You can see we've got this ridging here. This is why it's going to warm up. Notice how the ridging here. This ridge actually goes back in this direction. So this is why it gets so warm and actually somewhat dry. But notice the storm system moving through the middle of the country. This is what's going to drive the big changes and also the wet weather for the weekend. So watch what happens. This is a very dynamic pattern. You could see that troughiness trying to move through, kind of gets deflected. But then look what happens here at the middle of next week. So we're going to go back to a cold and somewhat unsettled pattern here in the eastern half of the country. You can see all these blues showing up. So we're going to see a wild swing from cold and dry today to wet and warm this weekend, back to possibly cold and dry next week. And with this pattern in place, you've got to watch for active southern storm track. And you can see there are signs that maybe it could stay stormy into next weekend. So there's a lot of rumors and buzz online. Oh, we could see winter weather. It's 7 to 10 days out. It's an interesting pattern to keep an eye on for sure. But there's nothing specific or concrete that says, hey, we're going to get winter weather. This is kind of the pattern we expected this winter with El Nino. This is a very active southern branch of the jet stream. It's been incredibly wet. It's been cool, but most of it's been rain or ice. So I would suspect that next week we might have another glancing blow, possibly winter weather, but it's just too early to say. The one thing I'll tell you, though, it is going to be crazy with the wild swings in temperatures over the next 7 to 10 days. We are going to see a big jump in these temperatures. In fact, let me show you real quickly. I'm going to show you this crazy swing in temperatures that we're going to see. I thought I had this up, but I'll show you real quickly. This is pretty interesting. So this is the look at the temperatures for Charlotte. And you can see here, look at the crazy swing. Really cold today. There's our cold. Whoops, I didn't mean to click on that. You see that really cold air today? And then look at the warm up going into the weekend. In fact, by Sunday, you can kind of see this is where we've got temperatures possibly in the 60s and 70s and then the dip back down. So talk about a crazy swing in temperatures coming up over the next 7 days. So it's kind of a long vlog today, but a lot going on, a crazy pattern. I'm going to talk more and more about the December pattern coming up today and tomorrow on NBC Charlotte. And over the next couple of weeks, we'll start talking about the pattern going into December. We're already getting questions about Christmas, too far out. Don't count on a white Christmas. We don't get white Christmases around here. Only 4 all time, 140 years. We had one in 2010, so we've had our generational white Christmas. There probably won't be one for quite some time. There's actually a higher chance of it being 70 or higher on Christmas than snowing. That just to put it into perspective.